Today we're going to look at one of my very favorite exercises from the Z-Health Vision Gym. I want to share with you guys today one of my favorite exercises. What you need to do to start is you need to download this PDF that's below the video and get it printed out. This is called a multi-size font chart. You can see that it says that down there in the corner. Maybe you can't. That's why you need the exercise. It's a multi-size font chart. And what this basically is a collection of different sayings from a size 1 font all the way up to a size 32 font. And I'm going to show you the basics of how to use this particular piece of paper to improve both your near and distant vision. It's really fantastic and cool exercise and tool I use daily myself. So I want to make sure that you understand the basics. Now, number one, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on what's called blur adaptation, where we're going to actually be moving this chart back and forth to the point that it's a little bit blurry. The reason that we want to do that is in order to change our vision, we have to change how we habitually use our vision. And forcing ourselves to work in a slight blur actually upregulates processes within the brain to try and sharpen the image. If you do that enough, the eventual result is you see better. So what you need to do, like I said, is get this printed out. I'm going to recommend, first of all, that you print it on glossy paper or photo paper if possible. If you're just doing the blog, just print it on whatever you have and work with it that way. So that's number one. Number two, how do you use the chart? If you wear glasses or contact lenses, you will get bigger benefit from this chart if you take them off. Because we really want to work with your eyes in kind of their more natural state. If that's super uncomfortable for you and you can't read anything without your lenses, you can leave them in and still perform the exercise using the chart. And then hopefully over time we'll be able to decrease the reliance on the lenses for you. Now, the second thing I want you to think about in this is what I call the 2 eyes, 1 eye, 2 eyes rule, which basically means we're going to start off doing exercises using both of our eyes, and then we're going to repeat the exercise using our stronger eye, and then we'll repeat it using our weaker eye, and then we'll finally finish up using both eyes again. It's really important, this kind of flow, because very often people when they're doing vision work will go, well, I'm having a hard time seeing with my right eye, so I'll just work on that. That's okay, but ultimately we're trying to teach our brain to use both eyes at the same time, so we always like to conclude any vision training exercises utilizing both eyes. So I just wanted to make sure you knew about that. Now, how do you use the chart? It's pretty simple. What you're going to do is you're going to take the chart, and I want you to read one of the sayings. You're just going to start at the big and you work your way down. And the whole idea is to identify a line that is clear. All right, you want to identify the lowest number, the lowest font number that is clear for you to read. So for instance, if your eyes are a challenge, you may only be able to read 32 font clearly at a normal reading distance. If your eyes are a lot better, you may be down to 3 or 2 or even the 1. Now the 1 size font, your printer may not even be able to print clearly, so don't get stressed out if you can't read that one. So what happens is when you identify the lowest line that you can read, I want you to then focus on one letter in one of the words. Once you've focused on that letter, you're going to do something very simple. You're going to focus on the letter, you're going to bring it in until it becomes blurry, and then you're going to push it out until it becomes blurry. And you'll pause. Usually pause 5 to 10 seconds, try to relax your face, relax your eyes, and then bring it back in. Back to the blur, pause, relax, breathe, and out. And you're just going to go back and forth, usually somewhere between 5 and 10 reps. Now I want you to pause about 5 or 10 seconds in each position and really try to get your brain to see clearly. And this is a little weird thing that goes on because you're there and you're like, it's blurry, it's blurry. Oh. And all of a sudden it starts to become more clear again. So as you do that, try to pay attention to how you're using your eyes. So that's version number 1 with both eyes. Then I want you to cover your weaker eye. And if you're not sure which one is your weaker eye, just look at the writing, close your left, close your right. If one of them is more blurry, that's the one that we're going to call our weaker eye for now. So for me today, my weaker eye is my right eye. So I'm going to cover my right eye, and I would just repeat the same drill, again with a pause, with my left eye, and then after I've done 5 to 10 reps of that, then I'll switch, and I'll repeat with the other eye, and then I will finalize the exercise utilizing both eyes. Now, in general, what we find is that you need to accumulate somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes a day of this type of work. If you do 5 to 10 second pauses in each position, and you're doing 10 reps in four different versions, both eyes, one eye, both eyes, you're going to be somewhere in the 5 to 7 minute range. So you just plan to do this in the morning and in the evening. One of the things you want to notice is, are your eyes a lot worse in the evening? If you spend a lot of time working at a computer, on your smartphone, doing a lot of close-up work, you may find that you need to actually spend more time on this exercise in the evening rather than the morning to help restore maybe some more normal balance to your visual system. So, guys, that's the basic multi-size font chart. This is a fantastic tool. A lot of you will find with just a tiny bit of work, you're able to go down 2, 3, 4, 8 font sizes literally in 1 to 2 weeks of practice. We've seen that over and over again from the Vision Gym. This is just one of the exercises, but again, I use it a lot personally, so I wanted to make sure that you had seen it, have a chance to play with it. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Otherwise, good luck. Exercises and ideas that I think you're going to love. One more time. It was really good right up until I forgot. I had no idea what else I should say.
Rolling again. Keep it quiet, Landon. Keep it quiet, like a baby soft steps. Baby soft steps. Sorry. Rolling. Reshoot.